In this video, you'll learn about relations and functions. A relation is just a set of ordered pairs. So I could have a relation and maybe it's made up of 3 or 4 ordered pairs. -3, or 3, -4, 2, 7, 0, 9, and let's say 4, -1. A domain is the set of all the x coordinates in a relation. So I want to look at just the x coordinates here. So my domain for the relation above would be 3 and 2 and 0 and 4, because those are all of the x coordinates. And the range is just going to be the set of all the y coordinates in that relation. So I'm going to look for the y coordinates. So I've got -4, 7, 9, -1, because these are all of the y coordinates. And finally, we have a definition for a function. This is a type of relation where each input, that's the domain, has only one unique output, which is the range. So we're going to see real quickly how we can test for that in just a little bit. But first, let's just name the domain and range in each relation here. So in my letter A here, my domain is going to be all of my x coordinates. So 2, -5, 9, and -7. And my range is going to be all my y coordinates. -4, 0, 3, and 6. When I look at a table here, if this is my x coordinates here, these are my inputs, and the second column is my y coordinates, or my outputs, my domain is going to be all of these here, -5, 0, and 2, because those are my inputs, or my x coordinates. And my range is going to be all of these guys here, -15, 0, and 6, because those are all my y coordinates. So if I want to determine if a relation is a function, right, so I can use this test called the vertical line test. And the way I'm going to use it is, first I'm going to plot all points. So I have 0, 1, 0, 1, and I have 1, 2, and I also have 1, 3, and then finally I have 2, 4. Alright, now this says if the relation is a function, a vertical line will pass through only one point on the graph. If it passes through 2 points, it is not a function. Well, if I look here, I can see that if I have a vertical line, it would pass through 2 points on this graph. It would pass through 0, 1, I'm sorry, it would pass through 1, 2, and 1, 3. It passes through these 2 points here. So it is not a function here. So this is not a function. So no, this is not a function. And we can sort of see it right here in our relation. We see that we have 1, 2, and 1, 3. So this domain 1, this input 1, has 2 different outputs, 2 and 3. Okay? Let's see another example of that. So again, I want to know, does this relation here, is it also a function? Does each input have only one output? So I want to plot all the points again. So I've got 0, 1. I have 1, 2, 2, 2, and 3, 4. These are all my parts here, my points here. And if I try to draw a vertical line through these points, I'm going to see that they only go through one point on my graph here. So yes, this is a function because it passes that vertical line test. Alright, here's some problems for you to practice on your own. I want to name the domain in this relation here. So remember, the domain is all the inputs, all the x coordinates. So my domain is going to be 3 and 9 and 9 and 0. And my range is going to be all my outputs, all my y coordinates. -1, -4, -1, and 0. If I look at this table here, I want to name the range in this table here. Remember, range is the outputs. So range are the y coordinates. So my range is -10, 0, and -10. And my domain is going to be all my inputs. So my domain is going to be -2, 5, and 2. And finally, let's use the vertical line test to determine if these relations are functions. So I want to plot my points here. 2, 4. There's 2 and 4. Go to 1 and then -1. 0 and -1. And -3 and -2. If I took a vertical line, would it pass through 2 points that I've graphed here? No, it would not. So, since it does not pass through 2 points, it passes that vertical line test. So yes, this is a function here. Let's take a look at the next one. I want to plot all of these points here now. So I've got 5, -5. I've got 0, 2, -3, 4, and I've got 0, 3. Okay, I want to try the vertical line test here. Okay, my vertical line only goes through 1 point here. My vertical line only goes through 1 point here, but my vertical line goes through 2 points here, so it fails that vertical line test. This one is not a function. Okay, and remember, we can see that here, where we have a domain 0, my input 0, but it has 2 different outputs, 2 and 3, and that's how we know it's not going to be a function. And that's our lesson on relations and functions.